Hello, fellow sky traveler. If you've been flying for as long as I have, you'll have noticed that the average atmospheric temperature has increased slightly each year. Now, I don't know the true cause of global warming, but I do know that the temperature of the Earth's surface and its atmosphere are dictated by the radiation from the sun. I also know the sun is a black body emitter, such that the intensity and wavelength distribution depends only on the temperature of the sun, and not what it's made from. I know that when electromagnetic radiation from the sun, such as light and infrared energy, reaches the Earth, some of that wave energy is reflected back into space. Some of the energy is also absorbed by the atmosphere. In particular, all ionizing radiation, that is, ultraviolet, X-ray and gamma radiation, are absorbed by the atmosphere and do not reach the ground. The ionizing radiations have sufficient energy to ionize atoms, that is, knock electrons out of atoms, and this is the cause of the ionosphere. Most of the visible light from the sun passes through the atmosphere and is absorbed by the ground. This causes the ground to heat up. The ground then emits infrared radiation back into the atmosphere. Some of that radiation travels into space without being absorbed. The remaining infrared radiation is absorbed by molecules of water vapor, carbon dioxide and methane, the so-called greenhouse gases. The absorbed energy causes the molecules to vibrate more. The excited molecules then to excite and emit infrared radiation in all directions. Some of the radiation finally escapes into space and the rest goes back to heat the Earth and the oceans. What people don't seem to understand is that if the Earth is to be at a constant temperature, it must re-emit radiation at the same rate as it is absorbed. So, for example, if the Earth were to have more cloud cover, or the ground covered in snow for longer periods of time, more radiation would be reflected back into space and the global temperature would decrease. On the other hand, if the amount of greenhouse gases, that is, if the amount of methane, carbon dioxide or water vapor were to increase, then more of the infrared radiation emitted from the ground would be absorbed by the atmosphere, causing the atmosphere to heat up, because the molecules would be vibrating more. When the molecules do excite, a large percentage of the re-emitted infrared radiation would be directed towards and absorbed by the ground, causing the Earth's temperature to rise. The consequences of the greenhouse effect can best be illustrated with the planet Venus. It has an atmosphere that is 96% carbon dioxide. Even though the atmosphere is very reflective, its surface temperature is in excess of 450 degrees centigrade. Without any greenhouse gases, Venus would only have a surface temperature of about 50 degrees centigrade. See you later, fellow sky travelers.